Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Elon Musk tried to get rid of me, but he couldn't stop us, baby. We are back. He is I is him, and I am T5, your host of the Crescent City Connection, fastest rising Louisiana sports show on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed, all that is sports. And today, it's Saturday. You know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get right into it, talking Saints, footballs. We're going to talk about the college, Tigers, Tulane, Northwestern State. No, Northwestern State this week, ladies and gentlemen. We leave it alone. And we're going to talk LHSAA playoff prep football, baby. Rounding up the Dance at the Dome coming soon. And of course, we'll round things out with Pelicans basketball and the college hoops. Ballin'! We're going to get into it today, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Crescent City Connection on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Yes, sir. Welcome. It is Saturday, high noon. You know what that means. Crescent City Connection. It is I, your host, Tiberius V the Third Esquire, also known to my fellow sports fans as T5. And this is the Crescent City Connection, the fastest rising Louisiana sports show on the interwebs, powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Thank you for joining us here on Saturday. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with your boy, talking Louisiana sports. Because the national media don't do us justice, but I got you covered. But first, before we get into it, follow us on iesportsradio.com, where you can find myself and other shows such as this. You can get our schedules. You can find our backlog, my older stuff, just in case you want to fact check me. OT5, you said this a couple of episodes ago. You can go ahead on and get me. Gotcha. I gotcha. You can go back on and check. Also, you can find us on the YouTube Live, but you can also find us on demand on YouTube, Spreaker, anywhere you get your lovely podcasts. Wherever you get those big wig podcasts, you can get me too. Coming up. And of course, before we get into it, we'd like to thank our sponsors, the people that help keep the heat and the lights on. Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Waiting for my package to come in. Wink, wink. And of course, Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Miss Cecilia B. When you want to be bougie on a budget. And of course, here, IE Sports Radio powers the shows, pays the bills. When we return, first you're going to hear from them, then you're going to hear from me. And we're going to get right into it on the Crescent City Connection on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Yes, sir.
Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, eSports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, iSports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at iSports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at iSports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making iSports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Crescent City Connection here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As I said before, thank you to Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. I'm not just a blind a blind follower. I actually enjoy Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. The volcanic jalapeno is chef's kiss. But my favorite, the teriyaki. Don't sleep on the teriyaki. It's delish. Waiting on my package to get back in because I'm having the withdrawals over here, man. I love snacking on this stuff. It's great. Try it out. Give them a follow. Give their website a look-see. I'm pretty sure you will like it. And of course, Miss Cecilia B. Seal the Deal Wax Seals. When you're trying to show up that cousin or that family member or a friend from school back in the day that thinks they're better than you, and you're putting out quinceañera or a birthday party or any other type of celebration, you're trying to, or a wedding, wing, and you're trying to send out the invitations. Hey, Seal the Deal Wax Seals to put that added little je ne sais quoi. And of course, IE Sports Radio, give us a visit, find out the schedules, show schedules, take a look, see at the other shows, the very entertaining shows we have on the IE Sports Radio network. But of course, you're here with me because you want to talk Louisiana sports. Most likely, the Saints. Saints fall to the Rams. It wasn't a bad game. It was just bits and pieces. Saints lose to the Rams 21-14. The Saints were in this game, ladies and gentlemen, but the Rams did Rams stuff. The Saints, Derek Carr, 24 for 37, 184 yards, 1 TD, 0 sacks. The line is getting better, getting healthier. That's a plus. AK, 41. Mr. Alvin Kamara, 41 on the field, number 1 in your heart. 23 attempts for 112 yards. Receiving wise, you can tell we miss Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed bad. Our leading receiver was Taysom Hill. We'll get to him in a second. 7 targets for 5 receptions, 37 yards. MVS, 3 targets, 2 receptions, 36 yards, and 1 touchdown. Juwan Johnson, 7 targets, 5 receptions, 36 yards. Ladies and gentlemen, that leads us to our first segment, T5 4 takeaways. Ladies and gentlemen, takeaway number 4, because we're going backwards. Number 4. It seems like Groundhog's Day, ladies and gentlemen. If you watch this game and you're like, man, this feels oddly familiar. It kind of does, man. Once you take a step back and look at the stats and look at the big picture, it does. And I'll tell you why. Last year, 2023, we also played the Rams. We also played the Rams coming off of a 2-game winning streak. 2024, we played the Rams coming off of a what? 2-game winning streak. Matt Stafford threw 2 touchdowns in 2023. Matt Stafford also threw 2 touchdowns in 2024. Puka Nakuna. I can speak English, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get this. Puka Nakuna Matata caught a touchdown last year. Puka Nakuna Matata caught a touchdown this year. Demarcus Robinson also caught a touchdown last year. Demarcus Robinson also, guess what? You guessed it, caught a touchdown this year. And the disgusting cherry on that disgusting, nasty Rams Sunday, Kyron Williams went off for a tune of 104 yards last year. Guess how many yards Son went off for in 2024 against us? Anybody? Anybody? You guessed it. 104 yards exactly. Oh, that's disgusting. Exactly? Yeah, exactly 104 yards. I kid you not. You can go fact check me. Go Google it. 100 is 100%. Kyron Williams rushed for third TD. Last year, he was the sealer with the third TD for the win. This year, he rushed for the third TD and 104 yards. I kid you not. Sean McVay, he got us backpedaling over here, man. That offensive stuff, man, it just But that leads me to takeaway number 2. That Alvin Kamara kid is pretty good. He's pretty good. The guy is pretty good. He's a good kid over there. He's a stud. He's a stud. He's a dog. He's a stud. He's a dog over there. Alvin Kamara is still a dog. And that's takeaway number 3. I might have said 2, but that's takeaway number 3. Because we're going backwards. Alvin Kamara is still a dog. Despite a few dropsies, I think maybe 2 dropsies, Alvin Kamara had 27 carries, 27 touches, 27 touches for 119 total yards. He had 23 carries for 112 yards. There you go. AK has played in all 12 of our games so far. Derek Carr's been out. Our offensive linemen have been in and out. Olave, Shaheed have been in and out, and both of them have been out recently. Taysom Hill, been in and out, and now he's out for the season. We'll get to that later. Alvin Kamara, on the other hand, has played all of our games so far, all 12 of them. Even with the monked up hand and the ribs and the whole shebang, he still played all these games, and he's having one of the best seasons he's had in a long time. Matter of fact, he is second behind Saquon and ahead of King Henry and Josh Jacobs for the second most touches by a running back and most yards by a running back. And those 3 names I mentioned, Saquon, King Henry, Josh Jacobs, they're all free agent pickups that are delivering for their new teams. Alvin Kamara is currently 29 and will be returning to the black and gold next season. Despite whatever happens, coaching-wise, team-wise, he'll be back. You don't have to worry about the free agent thing. He's hitting his stride. The dude's still a threat. He's still a dog. You don't have to. No, big dog. Woof, woof, woof. Big dog. Then we go to takeaway number 2. The Saints are, speaking of rushing, the Saints are 26th ranked run defense. Williams went for a tune of 156 yards, averaging 7 yards per carry. Ladies and gentlemen, the run game needs to be fixed. Doesn't matter what happens in the offseason, whether Rizzy's the coach, we get a new coach, blah, 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 blah. The run defense needs to be fixed. The pass defense has been pretty good, making dudes hold the ball. The run defense needs to be fixed because dudes have been trucking us, whether it was the Chargers game, Eagles game, Falcons game. You could just go back and dot. We were giving up chunk yards and stuff at the wrong time. Run defense needs to be fixed. Full stop. And lastly, number 1. Do. We're going to talk about playoffs. Playoffs? We're just trying to win a game. You guys talking about playoffs. Shout out to Coach Moore. We still love that dude. Technically, the team was still mathematically in it, even though that was kind of the nail in the coffin. Technically, there was like a snowball's chance. We would need to go on a amazing run, like no more losses type run. And of course, we would have to have the Falcons and the Buccaneers completely suck out loud. The Falcons are close though. Buccaneers, and not so much. So the door is kind of closed and it's kind of not closed. The point is, the Saints should be realistically looking towards finishing strong, beating up on these other teams. Draft spot be damned. Because think about it, ladies and gentlemen. There's teams that are worse than us in front of us. About 7 teams may be worse than us in front of us. So for you talking, we should tank. Tank for what? Just so we can say we got a high draft pick? Tank for who? No. We go out there, finish strong, beat up on these teams, show potential free agents and potential coaches that there is something to work with here in New Orleans. There ain't nothing to tank for, man. Y'all wilding with that tank stuff, man. Because off rip, these players, some of them may not be here. You don't want to be known for being on a team that suck like that and tank. Nah, heck no. Nobody wants that type of stuff on their team. And those are my 4 takeaways from the Rams game. Now, the even worse news. During the game, we lost the homie, number 7, Taysom Hill. We lost Nick Saldiveri also, but he's been kind of in and out, and he may still be able to come back. But we lost Taysom Hill for the year. He's been placed on IR. He had to be carted off. Lost Taysom Hill for the year. Man, that dude, say what you will about him as a quarterback. Him as a person, he's an awesome cat. He's selfless. Because let's say, look at this. The dude came in as a quarterback, understudy for Drew Brees. Whole time we thinking he's going to get this chance at quarterback. Didn't look that great. So all of a sudden he's playing special teams, slash tight end, the Taysom Hill package we see come in. The dude's been doing it all. Fullback, lead blocking in the Kubiak offense, lead blocking, and man, he's just been all over the place. The dude is a revelation. He's been one of the most fun players to watch in years. Just fun to watch. And that's what football is all about, watching for fun. And we see whenever we see the Taysom Hill package come in, we'll be like, oh yeah, they're about to run the Taysom Hill package and watch him truck stick dudes and run over cats. Oh my goodness. That makes Sunday so much better. Watching this dude, watch dudes having to make business decisions, thinking, oh, I ain't gonna let no quarterback run over me. Then he dropped that shoulder and wham. Truck stick dudes? Yeah, bruh. That's my football right there, buddy. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, man, hopefully this is not the end of the Taysom Hill experience here in New Orleans. Hopefully he'll come back next year and come back healthy and better than ever. Thoughts and prayers go to the homie number 7. And I guess we got to talk about it. This Sunday, Saints play the Giants. And that's it. Great talk. Saints play the Giants. That's it. Full stop. I mean, what else do we have to talk about? If there's a team that's better, remember I mentioned there's like about 7 teams worse than the Saints right now? The Giants are like top 3. Danny Dimes was already a bad quarterback. This man did not want to play for them. How can you be a whack quarterback and not want to play for a whack team? They went ahead and benched this dude. You know who I really feel sorry for? The homie Malik Neighbors, LSU alumni. One of the best wide receivers to come in that class. He's playing for this whack organization. I would love to have Malik Neighbors on the squad, man. We need to start a hashtag free neighbors. When you think about that, that sounds kind of weird, but it kind of fits too. Free neighbors. Free neighbors. Let's get that going, ladies and gentlemen. Free neighbors. If anywhere, come to New Orleans. Come home, baby. Come home. Free neighbors. That sounds lovely. Last but not least, Saints defensive lineman, 8-time Pro Bowler, your favorite Saint, my favorite Saint as well, Cameron Jordan has been nominated as our representative for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. Shout out to the homie Cam. That man has been a Saint his whole career. Just when we thought he was starting to taper off a little bit, he started picking it up a couple of weeks ago, the last couple of weeks. And off the field, he's got a whole family that he just built. He's built since he's been drafted here. The man is a fixture in the New Orleans scene. The man puts it down for us. So congratulations to Cam being nominated. Hope you bring it home because you deserve it. You deserve it. And that is all for us here. Saints Talk. We're going to cut to a break and we'll return. It's Saturday. You know what that means. We're going to talk a bit of the college and the LHSAA playoffs. The dance to the dome is right in view, baby. Right in view. We'll talk about it when we return here on the Crescent City Connection on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Yes, sir.
What's happening, sports fans? Are you a fan of Southern California sports? Are you looking for a show hotter than a hot summer day in California? Then look no further than the SoCal Supreme Sports Show, where I talk about all things Southern California sports. That's right, all sports teams from Southern California. From the hard-hitting tackles of the NFL, to the killer crossovers and big three-pointers of the NBA and WNBA, to the grand slams of the MLB, to the bone-chilling goals of the NHL, and to the booming kicks of the MLS. The SoCal Supreme Sports Show has it all for you. Oh, and let us not forget about the college sports as well. So join me, Taryn Rodriguez, every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you at the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the homie Terry Rodriguez and one of his many shows, SoCal Supreme. And of course, the new guy, Ricky K, this Ricky guy with the New York State of Sports over here, you know, one of those guys. He's a good kid. You gotta follow him. He's a good kid. And of course, you're here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Saturday, because you're here, of course. But you know what that means. College. The foosball starting to wind down, ladies and gentlemen. The foosball is starting to wind down. The conference championships, the big playoffs. The playoffs are starting to get formed up. The brackets, if you will, because there's a lot of teams vying and complaining. We should be in. But of course, we had the last week, week 14, which we're going to get into. There are still games to be played, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, let's start off with the week 14 scoreboard. Tulane lost to Memphis 34-24. Them turnovers, man, was big deal. La Tech over Kennesaw State 33-0. Shout out to the Texans, the Bulldogs. No, they're no big dogs. ULL over ULM. Interstate fighting. Interstate football, ladies and gentlemen. 37-23. Shout out to the Cajuns for a fire season. They should be going bowling this year. And of course, every Louisiana fan knows this one. Right after the Thanksgiving time, that Saturday, the weekend, Southern, Grambling, Bayou Classic, 51st Bayou Classic. Southern over Grambling, 24-14 in a rather entertaining game. Shout out to the Jags. And of course, LSU over the Sooners, 37-17. Well, welcome to the SEC. That's all I can tell you, Oklahoma. Let's get right into it. LSU over the Sooners. Hey, Sooners having a tough time acclimating themselves to the SEC. Yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Garrett Nussmeier, 22-31 for 31, 277 yards, and 3 of them tangs. Caden Durham still carrying the rock, 11 carries, 80 yards. Chris Hilton, 2 for 2, 85 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Those are fantasy football numbers. 2 catches, and 85 yards, and both of them was for tutties? Ugh. And the Tigers finished the season 8-4. This season has been weird. You've had teams that looked like they were going to be big dogs fall to little teams like Vanderbilt or Kentucky. Just weird games, man. Weird games. This whole season's been weird. There's like one big dog team like Georgia or Bama that's like just goes through the whole season just working everybody, and they look undeniable. Not this season. Heck no. There's been so much parity. It's crazy. Certain teams that beat another team. One team looks like a world beater 1 week, then the next week they fall to boo-boo state. It's been crazy this season, man. It has a lot to do with that whole NIL transfer portal stuff, but we'll get into that later, man. This season, LSU's had a lot of commitments, decommitments, flips, flops. The NIL, the transfer portal #1. Engage the transfer portal. It's been crazy keeping up with all this stuff now, man. It's way different from the football we've known in the past. Times are a-changing, baby. Times are a-changing. On the commitment front, 5-star corner Cade Phillips. He decommitted from Texas to LSU. Then he decommitted from LSU back to Texas. And of course, you have 5-star defensive lineman Jakeem Stewart from Edna Carr, who chose USC over LSU. He'll be going out west. Congratulations, homie. Have fun with that. Derek Meadows' commitment from LSU flips to Bama. And of course, we've had about maybe 10 current players decide they were going to enter the transfer portal. Wide receiver C.J. Daniels and Shelton Sampson both decide to enter the portal, along with 8 others, including linebacker Xavier Atkins, for one reason or another. What does that mean? That means LSU has to go into the portal and go hunting for players to fill them, not so much to fill the void, but to fill the depth. Because our incoming 2025 class is pretty good. We just need some parts and pieces for depth, for backup in case of injury, etc., etc. DJ Pickett, Harlan Berry, those cats are coming in, both 5 stars, both day ones. They will be on the field or should be on the field. Both are dogs and should be on the field for day one. Full stop. LSU flipped 5-star offensive lineman Solomon Thomas. He was supposed to go to Florida State. Not so fast, my friend. Now he's coming to LSU. So that offensive line should be, we're going to lose some dudes due to the draft, but offensive line should be, stay with me now, should be intact, at least. What else? 2 of our top interior offensive linemen. Well, let me backtrack first. First of all, Brian Kelly says it's his finest class since he's been in LSU, commitment-wise. You can kind of see that. Even though we've lost a couple of dudes, some dudes decommitted, it is basically his finest class. You can kind of see that because it's quality over quantity. With 14 commitments just on the defense alone, much needed linebacker, defensive line, offensive line, and secondary. He has filled those spots. So we should be looking good. 2 top interior offensive linemen in the country. So you're losing some dudes, but then you're gaining some dudes. Offensive line should be straight. And with Mason Taylor, all-pro, all-American Mason Taylor, tight end, declaring for the draft, tight end is a must in the transfer portal. Number 1, make it so. In the portal, the Tigers should be looking for Zach Atkins, Northwestern Missouri State, and number 1 tight end in the portal. And also Luke Haas, who played at Arkansas against the Tigers, but then transferred to Northwestern Arkansas. And he's also a Haas. He's a Haas, but he plays like a Haas. And those are 2 tight ends in the portal we should look to replace Mr. Taylor, who is going on to the pros. Now, what's next for LSU? Potential bowl matchup? Could be Colorado. There's been a lot of rumblings that it could be, LSU versus Colorado in a potential bowl game. Hey, not for nothing. That's a big time right there. That's a big time, prime time, non-playoff matchup. Colorado doesn't play LSU that often. Dion, LSU, bam. That's a delicious sandwich for me, man. Colorado's going to have most of their guys, big names like Travis Hunter, Shadur Sanders. Those cats are going to be playing. So that would kind of entice some of the LSU seniors that are declaring for the draft to come play their final game as well, because it's going to be bright lights, big stage for them to show themselves in front of the world. in front of potential teams that may want to draft them. So that's kind of a win-win there for me, man. So if it is Colorado versus LSU, I'm all for it. And of course, we'll talk about it here. But we're going to transition from LSU football talk to Tulane. AAC Conference Championship against Army. The 11-1 Army versus the 9-3 Tulane. And man, Tulane got dragged 35-14. It was 35-7 most of the game. That 14 point didn't come to like real late in the fourth quarter. So it was 35-7 for most of the game. They got dragged. Man. I don't know what to say. Let's see. Let's take a look at the statuses and the stuff over here. The defense, man, I don't know what happened to the defense. Defense was clickety-clacking on dudes for the whole season. Not this game, though. It was 7-0 in the first. Next thing you know, it was 21-7 at half. Next thing you know, that ballooned to 28-7, then 35-7. And it was 35-7 for most of the game until the end, where they actually scored a second touchdown, and it was 35-14. So it looked a little bit better. But man, Tulane had like such a fire season. They rebounded off those two losses to K-State and Oklahoma, but then they went on a nice 7-8 game run. Then they fell to Memphis, and then they fell on this one. So it's like they couldn't finish what they started, man. They had such a fire season, but shout out to Tulane, man. I hope they're able to get into a bowl game, because those dudes deserve it. Darian Mensah kind of improved as the season went on. He was a little turnover-ish the first couple of games, and then he became more of a field general. So hopefully he starts to evolve and get better, because he is a freshman. So hopefully he continues to evolve and get better, as his seasons continue. But shout out to Tulane, man. Even though they got dragged by Army, the whole season was not a fluke or a flop. And we'll talk about UL with their 37-23 win over Monroe. The Cajuns finished 10-2. Win number 10 makes them team first in program history to go 6-0 on the road, and the first to finish undefeated on the road since 1970. That 1970 team went 5-0. This team went 6-0. The Cajuns, all intents and purposes, should be going bowling. And we'll see where they fall. Because, the bowl, NCAA is kind of weird with the bowls they give people, man. Maybe it's the New Orleans Bowl. We'll see. Now, what you've all been waiting for, the LHSAA playoffs, prep football, baby. The dance to the dome is right in sight, man. We're hitting the home stretch. We're gonna start with Division I non-select. Where we have Central defeating Nibbles. Central defeating Neville 17-13, while Rustin defeated Destrehan 44-7. So at the Dome, we'll be getting Central versus Rustin. Wow. Division 2 non-select. We have Franklinton defeating Iowa 35-29. And we have Cecilia defeating Plaquemine 55-35. So we'll see Franklinton versus Cecilia in the Dome. Division 3 non-select. We have St. James Infirmary. We have St. James defeating Union Parish 43-36. And Sterlington defeating Jenna 48-14. So we'll get St. James versus Sterlington in the Dome. Division 4 non-select. We have Haynesville defeating General Trask 52-14. And South Plaquemine defeating Logansport 20-14. So we're going to get South Plaquemine versus Haynesville in the Dome. Now to Division 1 select. We have the Edna Carr Cougars taking on Catholic Baton Rouge. That was a Donnybrook. 21-19, Carr moves on. And we have Alexandria defeating John Curtis 24-13. We will get a Donnybrook Pier Sixer slobber knocker, Edna Carr versus Alexandria in the Dome. Division 2 select. We have Archbishop Shaw, the Eagles, versus Madison Prep, defeating Madison Prep 35-26 in another Donnybrook. 35-28 in another Donnybrook. And we have E.D. White defeating Leesville 41-13. Shaw, shout out to Coach Hank. They'll be in the Dome after a long drought, man. Shaw back in the Dome. There we go. Versus E.D. White. That should be a good one. Division 3 semifinals. We have Dunham defeating Bunkie 46-22, and Catholic New Iberia defeating Calvary Baptist 33-31, nail biter. So we'll get Catholic versus a Dunham in the Dome. And last, ladies and gentlemen, but certainly not least, Division 4 select. Vermilion Catholic defeated Kentwood 33-0. 33-0. And Washita Christian defeating Ascension Catholic 24-22. So we will get Vermilion Catholic versus Washita in the Dome. Those are your 6 championships, ladies and gentlemen. The dome will be rocking and rolling. It's going to be a battle, baby. Here for it. Here for it. Hopefully, with this whole new Bally Sports, changeover stuff, we get the games on TV like we usually do. Hopefully, nothing changes. Because I love watching these prep football championships in the dome. Brings back memories. Love it. Staple. Don't change a thing. And that's it for college and high school section of the sports show. But you don't go anywhere, man. You go get your, if you gotta go use the weave, you gotta go use the Louvre. Go ahead, but come on back. Because we're gonna round things out with hoops, baby. Ballin'. We're going to talk Pelicans talk. We're getting players back. And the Pelicans finally get off the schneid. We'll talk about it. Plus, college basketball. Those Lady Tigers are still balling. Talk about that. And we'll round things out. We return to the Crescent City Connection on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Yes, sir.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Lava.
And we're the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys spending time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
The roar of the crowd, the drama and pageantry, the adrenaline rush and decadence of the world of professional wrestling. Join yours truly, the SoCal Saint, for the best pro wrestling podcast going today, the IE Wrestling Show, exclusively on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Join us every Wednesday from 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, every Wednesday, the IE Wrestling Show. It's just too woo!
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Shout out to Davidson and D-Lock, hosts of the Fast Break, talking all things basketball. We're playing basketball. And of course, I'd be a little biased, but the homie, SoCal Saint, the brother from another mother, my tag team partner on the IE Wrestling Show, co-hosted by myself. On Wednesdays, we talk the Graps, baby. We get into it. We talked Survivor Series last week. This week, we're going to talk some Continental Classic tournament, AEW, WWE. We're going to talk the United States Women's and Intercontinental Women's tournaments. We're going to talk some NXT Dateline is going on tonight, Saturday. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us. When it comes to wrestling, we got on lock. And speaking of basketball, segue to Pelicans talk. Now, the Pelicans, we've all talked the last couple of weeks. The Pelicans have been on a schneid because of these injuries. But we started to slowly but surely get some players back. Herb, Not on Herb, and B.I. have entered the chat. And let's see. They fell to the Knicks 118 to 85. They lost to the Hawks 124-112. A lot of these games they were in for 3 2/3 of a quarter. Because they get into the fourth quarter and then they just let go of the rope for some reason. But not Sunday, but they played the Suns where Herb and B.I. returned to the lineup. And what do you know? We get a W. We're back in the win column. Go figure. Let's see. B.I. had 29 points, 7 rebounds, 10 for 19 field goals, 3 for 6 from 3. C.J. McCollum had the second highest points with 25 points, 9 for 18, 3 for 9 from 3. And let's talk about the ending of this game. CJ's at the free throw line, makes one free throw, misses the second. So we're up by, We're up by like 3. Now the Suns only need a 2-pointer to tie and a 3 for a win. Who do you think is going to get the ball, ladies and gentlemen? Kevin Durant's injured now, but they still have a whole Devin Booker. Devin Booker gets the ball. Guess who's going to guard this dude? Not on Herb. That boy locked Herb up. Put on the cuffs. Lock up the puppies. Lock up the puppies. Locked son up. And then Trey came on the back end and helped block a potential try to heave. He tried to heave that ball up, but didn't work out for him. And the Pelicans escape with the dub in a much needed win to get off that long, horrendous schneid. Now, we have Daniel Tice, who's day-to-day. It is what it is. But we still have Jose and Zion dealing with, the hamstring injuries. They'll be evaluated in the next 2 coming weeks. And Hawk, who's dealing with this weird back injury, the spinal something they call it. Sounds a lot serious than it did at first. And he's day-to-day. They're dealing with him. He'll be evaluated in the coming weeks. But we're starting to get a little healthy, man. Hopefully, Hawk can get this back thing looked at, and then we can get Jose and whatever's left of Zion back and be at full strength. The team that we currently got on the court has to learn how to gel all of a sudden because they have not played with each other. Trey was out first at the beginning of the season, and he ain't played with none of them cats. But by the time he came back, CJ and Herb were out, and DeJounte. And then when they started coming back, B.I. was out. So none of these cats have played a whole couple of games together. So they all need to gel, and for the most part, they look pretty good. Of course, they have some kinks to work out, and of course, you have the homies, Brandon Boston and Yves Messi, still looking good. The big surprise. How are you? Because at first we were worried. Oh man, who's gonna play the 5? Yves Messi's gonna play the 5 now, man. This dude's been consistently balling, dude. So now that we have that, situation covered, these dudes all need to congeal and come together and learn how to play. Now that they're all starting to get healthy. And hopefully we can start to see some real Pelicans basketball now. I could put I could go put the Saints hat up and put the Pelicans hat on. But they play tonight. I'm pretty sure it's OKC tonight. And they'll play Wemby on Sunday. So we'll see how well the Pelicans fare. We're starting to get healthy, baby. Things are looking up. Still early days in the season. But we're going to round things out by talking a little college basketball. Let's go around the state of Louisiana. Grambling, currently 2-5. They won against Arkansas Baptist, 82-56. La Tech, currently 7-1. They lost to Southern. Shout out to the Jags. They won in football. They won in basketball. Shout out to them. 73-70. LSU's Miams. They're also 7-1. They defeated Florida State in a fire game. 85-75. ULL 1-4. They lost to Nicholls State 76-75 in a close one. ULM 3-7 lost to Texas Arlington 84-70. McNeese State, Cowboy baby. They are 4-3. They lost to Santa Clara 67-74. UNO Privateers at the Lakefront Arena, currently 2-5. They play Nicholls State. Pretty sure tonight. Nicholls State, speaking of Nicholls State, currently 4-4. They defeated ULL 76-75, and they defeated a Southeastern 67-64. We talked about Southeast Southern. Tulane was off. Tulane's currently 4-5. Southern's 3-4. And then we switch on over to the ladies' side with number 7 LSU Lady Tigers, currently 9-0. Undefeated. They went against North Carolina Central, defeated them handily, 131-44. Then they went against Stanford and started off as a close game. Man, Stanford was beaten. Man, they was giving the girls a whomp and they gave them a run for their money. But they turned around in the second half and defeated Stanford 94-88 in overtime. It was looking bad for LSU in that last half. The last half, it was looking real bad for them. I was like, oh man, They got to lose. It was like Stanford had the lead, and they only had like a minute something left. Then all of a sudden, the Lady Tigers clamped down, played some defense, and went on a run. I turned back around. They're going into overtime. So shout out to Coach Kim. She's keeping them receipts. Y'all gonna stop playing with Coach Kim on social media and on the media on TV. Y'all gonna stop playing with her. She keeping these receipts. Y'all gonna quit playing with Coach Kim, man. If y'all, check out her social media and some of her stuff on the YouTube. She keeping these receipts, y'all. Y'all gonna quit playing with Coach Kim. Shout out to the Lady Tigers, still undefeated. And that's it for this week, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. That's all I got. I got no more. I got no more to give. Shout out to the great state of Louisiana. And shout out to all of you for joining us here on the Crescent City Connection, the IE Sports Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, today is Saturday. Thank you for spending your time with me. You could be anywhere in the world, but you are here. Whether you're catching it live or you're catching it on demand, on YouTube, Spreaker, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your lovely podcast from, you can get this one and all the shows on IE Sports Radio Network. And check out IESportsRadio.com and check out the shop. Because we have the merch. We have the merch coming in. The hats, the tees, the armbands, the whole shebang. You got it. Check it out. And of course, our sponsors, our lovely sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Beef Jerky and Seal the Deal Wax Seal. Thank you for helping keep the heat and the light on. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, check me out on the Wednesdays doing talking the grapples with the SoCal Saint, Ice Wrestling Dot, the IE Wrestling shows over here. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out with me on your Saturday. Love you guys. Leave it in the comments. You got anything you want to talk about? Any sports? Any teams? Leave it in the comments so not only here, but fans all over the world can catch the show and get the real in-depth Louisiana talk from a Louisianian and not these Yankees up north. Not these Yankees up north. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the show. Enjoy the outro music. I love you. God bless. Happy Saturday.